Hi guys. So today is just like a very quick spontaneous video. I was just going around watering all my plants and I looked at my Scindadpus Pictus. Oh my god. And I'd watered it when I first moved in and I just ignored it. And it's been like 2 weeks, which is usually how long I'll leave it. And usually by now it's dried out. And I don't know why, but the soil hadn't dried out. Which is weird, I thought, because it's been 2 weeks and all the other plants that I'd watered had dried out and they were fine. So I was like, right, this isn't right, and some of the leaves looked a bit suspicious. So I thought, I'm just going to take it out of that soil. To be fair, I was a bit lazy when I bought this plant. I didn't change the soil to my own mix. So it was still in the original soil and I've been meaning to change it for ages. And I just hadn't. So I thought, right, I'm going to take all that soil out. It's good soil, but it didn't have any, it wasn't very chunky. So the actual soil itself is really good, and it would be really good if I mixed it in with perlite and stuff like that. So I might keep it and use it for that. It's just, it wasn't very well draining, I don't think. So I started sorting out the plant and I thought, right, I'll bring you along, show you how I'm gonna deal with it. So this is the plant and he is beautiful. He's very long, as you can see. So obviously I did not want to lose this because I love this one. It's so pretty. But I have, to the point now, I've got to the point where I have removed all of the soil and I was starting to clean the soil off. So these are the roots, which aren't too bad, but I feel like they could be a lot better for like the size of the plant. The roots aren't as substantial as I want them to be, and I've also been pulling off, there is start of root rot, like I've literally just caught this in time, which is brilliant. And I've been pulling off, like, I don't know if you'll be able to see, let me just focus it. But like, let me find one here. This one right here, can you see it's like black on the ends? That's where it's starting to rot, and I have just been picking all of that off, and this looks really gross. So if you don't like if you don't like gross things, you can't deal with them, then I'd look away. But like all of this I've pulled off, which is all like rotting roots. And yes, I just thought I'd grab the camera and show you guys how I'm dealing with it. Because I know everybody deals with root rot differently, and I know before when I was just getting into plants, like it's really handy to go on YouTube and just see how other people deal with it, because I remember the first time I had root rot and I felt so overwhelmed. I was like, I don't really know what to do. The plant ended up dying just because I didn't really know what to do with it. But since then I've seen like how other people deal with it, and yes. So today I'm actually using a little bit of a different method. I've just bought some hydrogen peroxide, which I hadn't ever used before. I've had a lot of fungus gnats in my house, and I've seen that, I've tried everything with it and they're still not going away. So I thought I'd try hydrogen peroxide, see if that helps. And I've also bought those little sticky, yellow sticky things, which seems to have helped actually. So we will see. And this is the hydrogen peroxide I've got. You probably can't see because of the lighting, but it is food grade, and it's just 3% hydrogen peroxide. So what I am going to do, I am going to soak the roots in a hydrogen peroxide and water mixture, because I've heard that helps kill off the bacteria that's causing root rot. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to leave it in water for a couple of weeks maybe, just so I can, before I pot it up, I can keep an eye on the roots, see if they're still rotting, which I can't do in the soil. And then if they are still rotting, I can deal with it. And yeah, I've still not, this is one of my propagating vessels and I've still not unwrapped it because I moved. It's just an old jug. But yeah, and then I'm just going to put it in some water with probably some liquid gold leaf, some nutrients to try and help it. But yes. So I've got my little pipette. I'm using 5 mils of hydrogen peroxide per 240 mil. So get my pipette. It's 3 mil and 5 mil. So 5 mils about, if you don't have a pipette, it's about a teaspoon worth. And then this jug, I'm going to fill it up with 240 of just water. They were obviously originally cuttings, so I'm going to try and kind of separate them, put them all in individually, because I don't really want to damage the roots any more than I have. Okay, so while we're waiting for those to finish soaking, I just wanted to talk to you about root rot, and sort of, if you don't know what root rot is or how it's caused, I just want to go through it. So root rot is obviously where the roots in your pot start rotting away, and they're like, you can tell that the roots are rotting because when they're healthy, they should be white, and you can just tell they're very firm and healthy. When they've got root rot, they are brown, mushy, and you can kind of just pull them off, or you'll pull like the outside off and it will just leave like a stringy bit. So what causes root rot? A lot of the time it is the soil or your watering habits. But it overall comes down to sitting in too much water. So if you don't have a very well draining soil and it takes a long time for that soil to dry out because it's not airy and chunky mix, then that plant is going to be sitting in water for too long, and the roots are just going to rot because they don't like being sat in water for a long time. And then, excuse me. Then the other reason could be your watering habits. So if you're an overwaterer, obviously you're going to be watering your plant too often, and you're not giving it enough time to dry out. Even if you've got that chunky mix, if you're watering it too often, it's not going to have time to dry out. So when I say about overwatering is not how much water you give that plant. Every time you water the plant, you should let all of the soil soak through, let all of the soil get wet. Don't just do a little bit here and there. You're better off just soaking it all the way through, making sure all of that soil is wet and soaked through. So it's not about how often you it's not about how much you water it, it's about how often. So you can soak it all the way through, which is fine, but you've got to let it dry out in between, and obviously chunky soil mix will help with that. So that is root rot and sort of what causes it and how you can prevent it. So I have got it in, soaking in the hydrogen peroxide now. You can see, I'm not sure you'll be able to tell on camera, but the water will start to fizz and bubble a little bit. But yeah, so I'm just gonna let these soak in here, and then I will just place them in just some normal water and a bit of fertiliser. Okay, so they've just finished soaking in hydrogen peroxide, and I am thinking maybe not, I don't know whether to put them in water or to put them in soil or not. I might put them, pot it back up in a little bit of a smaller pot and with my chunky mix, and then water it through with the hydrogen peroxide mix, and leave it at that. There is one vine that I accidentally, well, I think the top of the root was a bit dodgy anyway, but I've just kind of snapped off all of the roots, but did not look normal at the top here anyway. So that is going to have to go in water because it doesn't have any roots. And then I'll probably just put it back up in the same pot sort of after. But yeah, so that is my plan. This almost the way. Actually, I might take some of my own sort of well-draining chunky mix. I use normal like houseplant soil, but I'm going to be changing that soon. I might do a video on that. But yeah, at the moment I just use a normal sort of houseplant potting mix that you can find anywhere, and then I mix in orchid bark, perlite and charcoal. I have sort of a base mix, and then I just always have extra, and if I want it to be more chunky or less chunky I can alter it. So I've got all my cuttings. Just going to start popping them all back in. So she's all potted up now, watered through with the hydrogen peroxide, and I've put her on the mantelpiece here. It's bright, quite bright here. Got the window over here coming through, so she'll get quite a lot of light here. So So that is all from me today. Hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, bit of a different one today. It was very unplanned. I just decided to pick up the camera and sort of do it, so I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I will see you next week for our next planty video, and I will see you all later. Bye!